Hey guys, Derek here with the Closet Doctor. Just going to show you some improvements we made over the last couple of weeks in the Closet Doctor shop. First one that's made a huge improvement. I'm a big guy. I like to be comfortable when I'm working. And California gets a little bit warm here. And so we got these roll-up doors here. In our building, we actually have 4 of them. And 3 of them face due east. Now, last summer, it was brutal in here. So we're a concrete tilt-up building. We got a metal roof, and I talked to my landlord about it, and he came in, and I really appreciate him doing that. He came in and insulated the roof for us, and we noticed a big difference right there. But it was still, even by like noon, it was just getting so hot in here. So I brought in my laser detecting device here, laser heat guy right here. Let's see, you see that? And I was shooting my doors, so that says 85 degrees. I don't know if I'm actually hitting it because I'm going over my shoulder. But the reason it's 85 degrees today is because last week we painted those doors. Originally they were a dark brown, the same color as these beams was what those doors were. And when I shot it with the laser in the morning, 9:30 in the morning, when this one it was getting warm, 9:30 in the morning, the temperature of the door, the surface of the back side of the door was 130 degrees. And so we had 3 big radiant heaters going full blast every morning. And if you open the doors up, the sun blasted in and was just as bad. So we painted them white, and now major temperature change. The shop stays much cooler. We've got a Porta-Cool swamp cooler in here, and my landlord is also putting in a swamp cooler for us. So we really appreciate him getting that done, but it's made things nice and comfortable. Let me show you a couple other things that we've done in here. Over here, this is our inventory area for screws, nuts, and bolts, anything that we use in the shop or that goes on the install vans. And some things we take out and we put into our 2-bin system, and some things we said, it's a waste of time, we'll just use the box that's there. And so you would walk over to get screws out of this box. Well, originally we put labels on the bottom right here. And then there's also a label on here, but you could never see it. So my improvement was I took this is our Kanban card holder that slides into the bin slot that we have. And we just made a holder and put big letters on it. So the interesting thing about this improvement is when I showed it in the morning meeting, everybody went, "Oh my gosh, that's drove me nuts." It drove them nuts. It was struggle for them. But they didn't recognize the struggle, and they didn't recognize the solution. And we had a new guy in here, and Craig said, "Hey, I sent him over the other day to get 3/4 inch pan heads." And he goes, "I wonder how long," he told me, he goes, "I wonder how long it's gonna take him to find those." When you walk up from a distance of 6 feet, you can tell what screws are there. So if you tell somebody 3/4 inch pan head, it's right there. So great improvement, easy improvement, took about 2 minutes. Now this is an improvement here, and is what this was. This was our old style of drawer station that we were building. We dismantled it, got rid of the whole jig. It was about 10 years old. It'd been fine-tuned over the years, but we got rid of it. It took most people about 5 to 6 minutes a drawer to build that. Like I said, I could do it in 3.5. This is our new drawer station for our optimizer soft close drawers. Still got to do a little 3S'ing on it here, but we've gone to a nicer drawer, less parts on the CNC over here, and with undermount soft close guides, we built a station for it, everything we need. Our undermount clips are right here, the screws and the clips that we need. When we open up the drawers, got to remember to put those over there. The parts go in here for it, and you can stand right here and build a drawer in about 2 minutes. And then once again, it's on an up-down system, so that when we've got shorter people, that they can lower it down. When I'm working on them, I can go and add them to it. Back in the environment, we've added a couple of fans on the wall to keep things cool, that blowing on the work area that we are in. So when it's a little warm out there, you get a little bit of air movement, keep things cool. Hey everyone, if you like this video, there's still a bunch more of improvements in it. Take a second now and like and subscribe to the video. Any comments you've got on stuff, I try to answer all of those back. And you want to stay tuned. I've got a couple other videos that I'm going to put out here in the month of August. A bunch of big stuff happened to me 30 years ago, and so we're at that anniversary, and I'll share those things with you shortly. This is our grass hinge and drawer front boring machine that we use. And the first improvement we did is we got it hooked up to our dust collection. So when you're drilling drawer fronts And when we drill, so it's got 2 holes that it drills in it, makes a lot of sawdust. There's no real dust collection set up on it, so a little bit of scrap material on here that we put in it. And then we added this port, and this has been Phil's, because when we use the hinge boring machine and this one's not shut off, it generates more sawdust. So Phil took a little bit of scrap off of the pallets that they deliver the drawers on and made this little blast gate and put a knob on it and put an angle bracket on there to hold it, and then it can open and close that one individually. And then we also put a blast gate on it, so when we're not using it, that we shut it off. So really nice improvements by the guys there. This one is a quick intermediate fix. We've got a plan on how we're gonna make our metal cutting chop saw area better. But one of the things we're having stuff fly around. You'll notice that it's bent up the base here. And so to keep the loose end from flying around, we just welded on a little piece of angle iron there so that it supported it, made it much safer, much easier to use. Our new drawer parts have broken one of my rules. I wanted to keep everything at 3/4 inch in the shop, but they only make them to work with 5/8 material. So we actually put a dedicated system here, labeled it, and we don't bring in a whole lot of this, but the rack fits as much as we can bring in. So I think there's about 12 sheets there, but it's labeled and set up that that's where our drawer part material always goes. And that way you can pull it out from right here. The van's not there, you just drop it over to the CNC and you're good to go. Over here on the CNC, we've got our quick and easy loader system that we've got there that's just posts and rollers from Harbor Freight bolted to the floor. Yeah, when we've got a full unit on here, we're up above that pretty good. And what I noticed is when the parts would roll off, that sometimes they would take a dive into the CNC or fall off the back. It was just kind of interesting. So the first thing we did is I added a second wheel over here, and this one here is nice and close, so you know where you're at height-wise. That was my first add for that. And then we added the second one there. We moved this one back just to support things a little better as it's going on this way. And when we did that, we found that we were rolling off of this one because it was kind of far down there. So we moved it over about 6 inches here, and we fine-tuned it. And now things are rolling on there nice and smooth and easy. I was at the show this last week, and the guys were selling $30,000 vacuum lifts to move stuff from here to here. This setup here, I figured that we've got less than about $200 in it, probably, between rollers and these posts from Lowe's and the scrap metal that we built here. Now I do have a lift, so I got a hydraulic lift here. This is probably about a $4,000 lift. I think 20 years ago I paid $2,000 for it. So, and then over here, another thing we did. I've put strap cutters right where you need it. When you're cutting the straps there, we put it here, and instead of bolting it in place, we just put it on a magnet, so it's right there. And I did the same thing over in the edge bander. Always need, and when we start a new roll, it's got tape and stuff over it, and so instead of taking time peeling the tape off of it, we'll just cut it off. So I had these just sitting there, and then we put in a holder right there. And one of the things we tried here, we've struggled for a long time with color, color coding. You can see over here on the brooms, we've got color on it, and that's a color station. And for whatever reason, it hasn't caught on here. We're not good enough at it. And so I've gone to labeling where it goes. So we've labeled that. Hey, this one belongs on the edge bander. If anybody steals it, you can read and know where it goes. I've done that to my CNC broom. I've got it. This goes on the CNC computer. It's right there so that I can sweep up right here a couple of times during the day to keep things nice and clean. But I've gone from just color coding it to just writing on it what it needs to be. The new guys spent some time this week cleaning up the toolbox on the CNC. And this item was, this guy here is our tooling holder, and it came all the way over here. And we couldn't get everything in that we needed. And so they cut this down, cut a row off of it, and just cleaned it up. Got way too many bits. We're gonna use a bunch of these up and then probably actually change from a 1/2 inch to a 3/8 bit on some recommendation of some other people and give that a shot. But way too much tooling. One of the things we do, I don't know whether you've seen this before, but we send these out in batches of 10. And that way they all get sharpened to the same size, and we don't have to change things or every time we change a tool in the CNC. Hey, another improvement that I forgot to tell you about is outside. So when it's 110 degrees out here and your car is sitting in the heat, and you come out and get it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the inside's about 140 degrees. And I said, I've known this for 45 years, that cars are hot when they're in the sun. And this shop, I said, I want to do something. And so my cheap and easy solution, $250 canopy from Lowe's. It's a, what is it, 10 by 20. It wasn't quite tall enough, and so as you can see here, we put it on concrete piers to lift it up. I can park my truck underneath it, and that also solved the problem of how to bolt it down and anchor it down. So, I don't know how long we'll get out of it. I get this, if I put a new one up every summer, it'll be money well spent, because when I go and get in my car now, it's in the shade. And so there's 2 spots, and so I told everybody, that one's mine. I'm the boss. I'm a benevolent dictator here. That's my spot. This spot over here, it's first come, first serve. So whoever gets here in the morning can have that spot. We haven't had any fist fights over it yet, but we'll see what happens in the future. So that's just a few of the quick improvements that we've made the last couple of weeks at the Closet Doctor. Things are running a lot smoother. If you watch some of my other videos, we've had some turnover. We got some new people, and it's getting to where I don't have to be slinging boards onto the CNC every day. I've got people that are doing that now, and we're getting up to full capacity. So hope you enjoyed this, and if you like it, make sure you take a minute, like and subscribe down at the bottom. And I actually have some stuff coming up that I'm going to be sharing in the next couple of weeks that's pretty interesting, and so you don't want to miss it. Have a good day.